This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the one who's going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me through this journey. We'd like to acknowledge and thank our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Chad Welsh, Sean McGuire, Rikky Morrisette, Albert Lorenzo, Yanis, and Eddie Costello. And before we get into things today, we have some exciting news we'd like to share because we have just hit 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, very exciting.
So we just want to give a huge shout out to everybody who has subscribed to us over on YouTube and helping us reach that milestone.
Yeah, thank you to everybody for listening and continuing to support us.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about chapters 19 and 20 of Lord of Chaos.
Yeah, so chapter 19, we have Matters of Toe, and chapter 20 is From the Stedding.
Yeah, okay. I liked the second chapter.
You did? Okay. I was a little bit thinking that you might not because it was a bit slow-paced, and there was a whole bunch of information.
I have to tell you, it turns out I'm a huge map nerd.
Really? I did not expect that. Okay.
I love the idea of old maps.
Okay, now I just feel like you're messing with me because
no, I'm not.
This
that's
entire
cool.
time I was like, we're going to skip the second half of the second chapter completely.
No, that's the stuff I found so interesting. Did you know that there are some people who can tell exactly when a globe was made?
I do know
based on
what countries are still there.
Borders or countries or whatever. I find that stuff really cool.
I am very surprised right now, and I still feel that you're just gonna just sock me right in the face once we get to that chapter and be like, actually, I don't care.
What? I don't care about most of it.
Sure,
I thought it was really cool to meet some other Ogier. We get a return of a certain Ogier lady.
Yeah.
I get a gold star for being right about 3 years ago. I
guess so. Okay, well, now I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah,
okay, excellent.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of dull, and we just have to skip through it.
Sure.
But, map stuff is kind of cool.
All right, I'm here for that then. So, okay, let's have some fun with it.
Okay.
So, I'm going to jump into a fun fact, and I want to do this fun fact because I think this is the first time we really get to see an actual conversation in Maiden Hand Talk.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because we get to see Avienda kind of losing her, attitude just a little bit.
Sure.
And I had to look up some fun stuff about sign language.
Okay.
Because that's clearly what this is.
Definitely.
So here we go. Origins. And also, just so everybody knows, again, internet information is sometimes contentious. And apparently, the study of sign language is actually very new. Because, relatively speaking. Relatively new. Because there's been studies of languages, like spoken languages, and where they all came from and all that stuff, for a long time. But sign language, there hasn't been a ton of research the same way. Mm-hmm. So, for origins, apparently the origins of the world's current sign languages seem to be traced back to 6 European lineages. So there's 3 larger groups of Austrian, British, and French origin, and then 3 smaller groups of Spanish, Swedish, and Russian origin. And from those 6 is where they kind of spread across the world in the late 18th century.
Okay, that's not new. I guess it's new in terms of language.
Well, it's very So that's what the study of sign languages is very new. Them trying to figure this stuff out.
Got it.
Is a very new endeavor.
I see what you're saying.
Into the languages.
I was sign language isn't new.
So that's no. That's what. That's not what I was saying, because part of what I was going to mention is that spoken languages have received a lot of attention for a long time, but signing is a lot less studied. Even though it's at least as old as speech.
Right. I guess it's more difficult to study because if you don't have video footage of somebody.
Exactly.
Right?
And there was this huge discrimination towards people who couldn't speak.
Right.
Where it's they're dumb and they can't learn, so whatever, it doesn't matter.
Right.
That was the vibe for a long time, even tracing back to ancient Greece and stuff sometimes.
Okay. Neuroscience fact in the middle of your fun fact.
Boom. Hit me with it.
Speech is an innate thing. Language will be learned whether you teach it or not.
Interesting.
If you talk around somebody, they will learn your language.
Yeah.
As opposed to reading, for example, which has to be explicitly taught.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. A little bit different, but same.
Yep.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. Okay. So a couple of fun pieces of information. just like what's alluded to in the conversation with Avienda and Leah, in sign language, there are different forms of sarcasm and mockery that you can use by altering signs, but then also there's a huge aspect of sign language where facial expressions and body language are just as important as the actual signs.
Right.
So RJ kind of gets it where there are altered signs to display, like we kind of see here, the mockery. So I think that's also very cool. And then the last one kind of digs into what you were talking about too, because brain injury damages the perception of sign language in the same way that it affects spoken languages, so it is literally just language.
Which makes sense, because when you see different MRIs of people doing sign language, the language center of the brain lights up. So if somebody knows sign language and a spoken language, they are technically classified as bilingual.
Awesome.
Because it counts as a language.
Also, like what we've done with our babies,
Yeah.
sign language.
Yeah, baby sign.
So very cool.
Yeah. I like that fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of more fun stuff, but it's like,
there's so much.
I had to narrow it down to just like a couple of the hot ones.
Yeah,
so.
that's fair. Maybe we could do a part 2.
Part 2. I like that. I like my part 2 fun facts.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so last time we were here, we were in Cairn, and we got information about how Barrowlane and Ruark are in charge together here.
Yeah.
Co-managers.
Co-managers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Rand went and saw a bunch of inventions at the, quote, school.
Ah, okay.
Egwene didn't give Rand any information and was less than helpful, even though she wants Rand's help.
Yep.
We also get that the Cairnians are trying very hard to take on Aiel customs, and they aren't doing it very well.
Okay.
Plus, one of the Aiel murdered a guy for getting a dragon tattoo, and Rand is forced to sentence him to be hanged, and that's sort of where we pick up here.
Yes. Mangin.
Yeah, Megan.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
A lot of stuff, and
Yeah.
we get a continuation, so let's jump into this.
All right, Chapter 19, Matters of Toe. Chapter symbol is the lion
Yes.
of
Andor.
Andor.
Yep.
Because
That's where he's
the
going.
toe is to Elaine.
What?
The matter of toe is Avienda's toe to Elaine.
Interesting. Okay.
That's what I picked up on.
Okay.
And he also doesn't know where Elaine is, and neither does she. I thought it was Elaine.
Well, also the toe of Mangin and all that stuff, too.
No, but the chapter symbol of the
Sure.
lion.
That's what you're talking. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
We also have to talk about the whole toe thing about Avienda at the end because, like, we got to talk about that when we get there.
Okay, fine. Let's just, jump there and just talk about that.
Yeah,
Because
no.
that's, all that happens.
Oh, no. Okay. Let's do this properly.
All right, fine. So we're entering in our Rand perspective. Rand's ready to go to sleep, and he thinks he's going to have a good night's sleep since he's super tired, enough to forget about Alana.
Yeah, and she's far away.
Avienda isn't even sleeping in his room tonight. She's sleeping in the Wise One's tents.
Nice.
But instead of getting a good rest, he has a bunch of weird Luce Theron dreams.
Yeah, and this is very interesting because it's like Age of Legend stuff, and it's like a dream.
Even though his dreams are warded.
Yeah, but that
So-
doesn't matter because that's like from outside stuff, not from inside stuff and LTT.
Which shows us that wasn't somebody altering his dreams.
Okay.
That came from inside his own head.
Just like nightmare-y type, because that's kind of the vibe it gives off, because we get a whole bunch of like
planes crashing and stuff. It's like Age of Legends stuff
it
happening.
is like cars and planes and kind of like, the world goes to shit.
Yeah.
And that's what LTT is clearly having issues with.
Right.
So all the
Okay.
colors are all crazy. So, but I mean, hey, this is not necessarily like, is this good or bad that he's having Luce Theron dreams?
None of this is good, Brett.
Okay, but like I feel like you might be like, oh, I hope they become best friends.
Entertaining as shit.
Yeah.
I love this subplot.
But just like not good.
It's not good.
Okay.
None of this is. Let me be clear.
I feel like you want them to have like their own spin-off show.
I do.
LTT and Rand go.
Absolutely. That would be excellent. But
Yeah.
it's not good that this is happening.
Okay.
All right. So morning comes, a guy Shine comes in with food. Rad's already awake because he didn't go back to sleep. He doesn't eat. He goes outside and everyone is there waiting for him.
Yeah. Keep in mind, just so you know, like he doesn't have to sleep as much and eat as much because he's a warder.
Oh.
Like keep in mind, he gets all the benefits of being a warder.
I guess so.
Like he's got the
Cool. Yeah.
all the benefits.
I just have to chime in again. I don't know enough about how that all works.
Yeah. Well, that kind of what we get from Lan. Like he can stay up longer. He doesn't have to sleep as much.
I just kind of feel like that's a thing
He heals faster.
that the Aes Sedai has to be like, cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. You know?
You're doing a hand thing, too, while you're saying cha-cha-cha.
Like, you know, kind of like how in the very beginning when Moraine, like, heals the horses so they're less tired.
Sure.
I feel like it's like a...
Yeah, but she specifically didn't have to do that to Lan.
Yeah,
because
I guess
they have...
It's just automatic?
There are benefits to being a warder.
It's just automatic.
Kind of like a super soldier.
I feel like I never picked up on the fact that was just automatic.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, they've only said it, like, probably a half a dozen times. And we've talked about it, so...
Okay.
Like, I'm not trying to fool you on this one.
I feel like the problem is, whenever this was talked about before...
Sure.
It didn't stick.
Okay.
It's not sticky information.
Okay.
Because it wasn't relevant.
So I'm telling you now, I'm not trying to fool you.
I know.
I'm not trying to throw you off.
Sometimes I don't know.
It's like, hey, Rand's a warder.
Yeah.
Warders have, you know, magic powers in a sense. Like,
okay.
Not, but yeah.
Most of my problem here is that I don't trust anything you say.
Which is fair. You probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
So, like, you know.
Okay. Maybe that's why I'm digging in on this.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Maybe I'll stop digging in on this.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. Okay.
All right, so everybody's here. Maidens, Wise Ones, More Aiel, Barrelane.
Yeah, literally everybody,
Kyrian nobles, Terran nobles. Everyone's watching everyone. Lots of politics about shit.
And I love it because everyone's, like, suspicious of each other and everybody's looking at each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially that chick who tried to get Rand hooked up with a bunch of other chicks and then Avienda, beat her up.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And now they're just here together.
All that stuff.
The whole thing.
Yep.
Now, Rand...
And the Terrans, just so you know, the Terrans, like, some of them are looking kind of like, oh my god, because the whole Terran rebellion going on right now, too. Some of these guys were, like, buddies with the guys who were rebelling, so it's like, ooh, okay.
All right. Well, Rand gives them all, like, you honor me.
Yeah, see ya.
See ya later.
See ya.
I'm going to Camelin now. And Barrelane is like, okay, well, your orders are set to be carried out this morning, so you can witness it.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a bigger deal than it is.
Yeah, because you talked about last chapter, like...
How it's not going to be a big deal.
Well, and also that we were going to see it.
Did I say that?
You did mention it, because you're like, oh, we're not going to see it, then you're like, okay, we are going to see it, and now here
I didn't think there were going to be any repercussions.
No, but you did talk about, like, maybe actually getting to see it go down.
Maybe.
But yeah, it's kind of led like almost we're going to go see it, but then not.
Well, and we get kind of a tidbit that some of the Aiel aren't thrilled.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely not. And the Wise Ones definitely aren't thrilled about this because they're all looking grumpy.
Yeah, and I really thought that maybe this was Rand's moment to somehow change his mind.
Yeah, and I can probably bet that the Aiel here want him to change his mind.
Oh yeah, they're all saying
they're like, we can figure out a way for you to not do this.
Yeah, how about jail?
Yeah, like literally anything else. But Rand is really... And this is the tough part, because Rand is between like a rock and a hard place here, where he did set down the law, and he's not playing favorites, and he doesn't want his like rule to be undermined by anything. Like, I get it, but it's like, he should change his mind, but he feels like he can't.
Yeah, and then he just says, you know, I don't mean to be a witness to every murderer who's hung.
Yeah.
And, you know...
Stone cold.
Sort of. He really doesn't want to make this special... But he also really doesn't want to watch it.
Because it's his friend.
Yeah.
Like, he actually liked Mangan.
Yeah.
They were becoming friends.
I know, that's the problem.
It's tough.
But maybe he shouldn't have done murder.
Maybe he shouldn't have, but, like, Rand should maybe...
Especially when there was a ruling, don't do murder. This would be different if there was no ruling.
Sure.
And he murdered someone, and Rand, just off the cuff, is like, okay, well, don't murder someone. If you do, you get hanged.
Yeah.
And then they're like, wait a minute, what? Right? That would be not good.
Yeah,
That'd be bad.
But, like, what's the point of being a ruler if you can't use your ruler powers to get your friends, like, out of trouble? What's the point?
See, the problem is Rand isn't a ruler.
Oh, he very, very much is.
No. I mean, like, he's not your typical ruler.
No, he's like a conqueror, technically. It's like he's got even more leeway to do whatever the hell he wants.
No, but he's not like that. That's what I'm saying, is he wants to do good.
No, I get that, but it's like, technically, he's a conqueror. He rules by conquest.
I know technically he could do a lot of things,
yeah.
But that's not what he wants to do.
Sure.
He wants to be, like, taken seriously and do a good job.
Anyways, rock in a hard place. That's the problem here. So
that's the problem.
Yeah, so he's going to leave.
Yeah, and it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's happening. Like, it doesn't seem like Mangan's getting out of this one.
All right. So Rand is going to Camelin immediately, and lots of people sound relieved about him leaving. And Rand also sees Barrowlane and Avienda talking and laughing, and he's like, that's unsettling.
What?
And so Barrowlane then says loud enough for everyone to hear, I will tend Kyrian without fear or favor until you return.
Yeah.
And then she bows, and he doesn't look at her cleavage.
Yes, good. Keep the eyes up. Keep them up. Excellent.
Purposely looks over her head. I think that's the writing or something like that. And so the wise ones seem pretty happy about this. So Rand is like, uh-oh, I need to stop the wise ones from interfering with Barrowlane.
But it was too late.
Yes.
It's like way too late for that, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think Barrowlane's doing a great job.
No, I mean, and she's saying, like, she said that out loud about ruling in his stead, obviously, for the sake of all the other people who are, like, plotting and scheming.
Yeah.
Because we've got a bunch of schemers here.
Oh, yes, we
who
do.
want to take over Kyrie instead of Barrowlane, but, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's too late for her to not be in cahoots with the wise ones.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Get in with the powerful ladies from the other group.
Totally.
Cool. All right. So Barrowlane adds, when you see Perrin next, please give him my warmest wishes.
Yep. And Matt.
Oh, and Matt.
Also Matt.
Whatever.
Mostly Perrin.
And then there's a bunch of butt kissing from some of the nobles. And then Mullane.
Mullane.
Mullane,
yeah.
one of the wise ones.
Yes.
Says, I'm coming too. I need to consult with Bale.
Yeah.
Who's in Camelin.
Yeah.
On wise one's business.
However,
they're married.
She's like the newly married one.
Yeah, she wants to go see him.
Yeah, she's also the one that the wise ones were talking about, like, oh, don't be looking into your husband's dreams or nothing like that, because you're gonna get yourself in trouble.
Right.
So yeah, anyways, she's totally going for not wise one business.
Which is fine, I don't care.
No, absolutely, but it's like that's the lie that she's coming up with.
Whatever. So. Rand doesn't even care anyway. Like, you can just come. Like, you don't have to.
No, it's funny because like he looks at Avienda and Avienda's just like straight facing him at this comment too, because like clearly she knows, but Rand has no idea what's going on.
Right, and then Rand opens a gateway and notices that Avienda is blushing.
Yes.
And thinks that she must be thinking about the time that she opened a gateway.
Exactly.
And it's like, maybe.
Yeah. Could be.
But like, probably not.
She watches it closely, like when he does the gateways.
That's fair, because she wants to know how he's doing it.
Yeah.
I think that Rand thinks he knows more than he thinks that he knows.
You don't think Avienda's thinking about their time?
Like, maybe.
No, okay.
It's possible, but Rand is overconfident about thinking he knows what everybody is thinking and doing.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, good point. All
right. So Rand steps through the gateway back to Camelin, and Alana comes crashing back into his head, and he thinks that she must have been crying. Case in point, he thinks that she must have been crying because he went away.
Yes. No, not that.
No, Rand.
No, it's the warder. It's the warder situation.
It's the warder situation.
Yeah, not him. The warder.
No.
The dead warder situation.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Anyway, the maidens are not a fan of Rand just stepping through the gateway without them going first, and then Sulin gives him a little bit of a lecture about him dying and blah blah blah.
I want to talk about this though, because this is actually like an important thing that kind of comes up here, and we've kind of seen him already like misstep with the maidens. So Sulin says basically Rand gave his honor to the maidens to carry it, and if he dies while the maidens are protecting him, the maidens are not going to have any honor left, right? And then if Rand doesn't care, maybe he's just like a little boy who needs his hand held. But if you remember back to the whole Lanfear incident, right, in Fires of Heaven, when they weren't around, and then they did the whole lineup with the spears breaking thing, like that was kind of strike one big time with Rand, where they're like, hey, we're just going to break our spears, and if we have no spears left, we're just going to kill ourselves. Yeah. Like, we're done with this. So Rand is kind of going down that path again, where they're getting really angry with him, and he needs to stop doing this.
Yeah, fair.
Because we get Avienda's side, which is like, she also kind of understands what Sulin is talking about.
Oh, sure, but she also likes that Rand puts Sulin
in her place, because it's like,
here.
But she's like, hey, she has a point, though.
Yeah, I know. Rand's just sick of being followed around with, like, a horde of people all the time.
Except the fate of the world rests on you.
Shoot.
So, like, you gotta deal with it, man.
I forgot about that part. God. I just long for the days I could walk in a palace alone.
So.
No.
Okay.
All right, so this is, Rand shoots back at Sulin and says, yesterday went well, and from now on, I think I'll stick with 2 guards.
Yes.
And Sulin just is speechless.
Which is also funny because we saw her point of view. Mm-hmm. Where she was like, this is not working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't okay.
Yeah.
And then, so Rand takes off, Aviendha follows him, and tells Rand that Sulin is right, but also nobody has been able to set her in her place like that, like, ever.
So, good job. You get points for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now, Rand and Aviendha keep walking, and she says, sometimes I think the Creator made you just to trouble me. And then they come close to having some banter.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
And then they don't.
When they left for Kyrian, they were barely on speaking terms
Well, they didn't
at
even
all.
see each other.
Like, Rand was running away.
Yeah.
Totally. And then she went to go have a conversation with the Wise Ones.
Yeah.
And now, when we're coming back here, they're at least talking.
Yes.
There's some improvement here.
Well, we know that the Wise Ones have set Aviendha to a task specifically regarding Rand.
Yeah.
And she is failing whatever task that is.
So it's not going well. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I bet she got a pep talk or something.
Yeah, probably not like it's they're wise
She
ones, so probably not
had
like
to like run around outside naked for 50 laps.
Yeah, like it wasn't like you can do it, Aviendha. We believe in you.
No, it was like, are you stupid?
Yeah.
Are you a stupid girl who can't get a man to talk to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we nailed it on that one. So
here, carry this doll for a while. All right. See, I'm getting good at this.
You're figuring it out. Yeah, you get it. You get it.
Now, Rand gets to his rooms, and Aviendha is still with him. And so he asks, shouldn't you go be with Melaine because of the whole Wise Ones business?
No.
No. Rand missed the point of that quote
That's
meeting.
sex. Yeah, that's no, she shouldn't be involved there.
So Aviendha's like, no.
Which her answer is so funny. She's like, no, Melaine would not be pleased if I interfered right now.
Yeah.
No, man. Not happening.
Rand.
Yeah.
Missing the mark.
Oh,
all over
100%.
the place.
Yeah, he doesn't get it.
All right. So then Rand is like, okay, well, has Amis told you where Elaine is? And she answers truthfully, I think.
That was my question. Like, is this the truth? Do you actually think that?
She says, they don't know. I asked.
Yeah. So is this one of those whole things where Egwene was like, oh, I technically don't know where they are because I don't know where Saladar is. Like, the Wise Ones meet with them.
Yeah. In Saladar?
Well, they meet and they talk with the Saladar Aes Sedai like frequently.
Yeah.
This isn't like a secret necessarily.
Yeah.
It's just one of those like, is this actually the truth? Like, do they actually not know where Elaine is?
They told Aviendha they don't know because she asked. Like, I don't think she's lying to Rand here.
Okay, so the Wise Ones might be withholding information from Aviendha.
That makes sense.
Okay. Because it's so, like, I have a hard time believing that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that's
okay. But then Aviendha does have something to share with Rand, and it's the fact that the Wise Ones have been having some dreams that are some concern of his.
Yeah, so these are interesting. So I got the list here. So
okay, I just have to jump in.
Sure.
Rand has his own interpretations of what these dreams mean.
Yeah, I wrote those down too, so we can talk about this.
Oh man,
do you not agree with them or
no?
Oh, like I don't know.
Oh my god, he's so literal.
Yeah.
With the translations.
Yeah.
Like the one, I know you have your list and we'll talk about them, but the one, for example, of a man with a dagger at his throat.
Yeah, the gray man.
He's like, that's clearly
a gray man.
A gray man. That's the only man who could sneak up on me with a dagger.
Yeah.
And he takes it just so
It's like,
literal.
it's a metaphor, man.
It's a dream,
Okay.
Rand.
Yeah, so we got the 3 Wise Ones, and then it's like different pairs for each of the 3 dreams.
Okay.
So we got Melaine and Bear dream of Rand on a boat with 3 women whose faces they cannot see, and a scale tilting first one way, then the other.
Okay, and that's similar to Min's viewing of 3 women on a boat? Or
yeah, I mean, it's pretty close to what we've seen. Like,
or maybe that was an Egwene dream?
Yeah, we've seen Rand with the 3 women several times.
Yeah, in different locations.
Rand has no idea what this one is.
No,
he's like, no idea.
Oh, that one's weird.
Can't even think of that one.
Yeah.
Can't be important.
I've never been on a boat with 3 women.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So anyways,
next.
Yeah. A love boat.
Yeah. Good one.
Okay. Melaine and Amis dream of the man standing by his side with a dagger to his throat, but he does not see the man.
Okay.
So, like,
He's
again,
like, clearly
gray man.
What's so difficult about interpreting dreams?
Yeah.
I thought wise ones were supposed to be good at this.
And fair, he should probably be cautious of gray men.
Sure. But that's not what this is.
Okay,
and
what is it then?
And you're being annoying.
I want a better...
Because obviously...
Give me a better interpretation then.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah, but like, what's the man with the dagger to his throat that he doesn't see?
I don't know. Probably one of the Forsaken, because he's like...
There we go. Okay.
Consumed with like thinking and doing other stuff, so there's someone else who's going to be sneaking up on him.
Totally.
It's someone. It's something else.
Man with a dagger?
No.
No, what? What do you think that I'm saying?
Man with a dagger?
Who's the man with the dagger?
Fane.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right?
Oh.
Is like, could it be like a Fane thing? He's like the man with a dagger.
He is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he did leave with the dagger.
Okay.
Don't forget about that.
Don't forget about him.
I'm not forgetting about it. You might.
Okay.
You might have forgot. I'm never going to forget
Totally,
that.
okay. And then the last pair is Bear and Amis. They dream of Rand cutting the wetlands in two with a sword.
Yeah.
And he's like totally already doing that, man.
Yes.
Because of all the places that are like breaking apart.
Yeah.
So, but not that?
I don't know.
Okay.
No.
Dreams are hard.
Mm-hmm. But he doesn't think so.
No, he figured out 2 of the 3. That's like, it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the last dream. And this one is all 3 of the wise ones having the same one. So it's especially significant. And here we go. Rain coming from a bowl.
Yeah.
There's
Fucking
snares and
cloud
pitfalls around the bowl. And if the right hand picks it up, they will find a treasure perhaps as great as the bowl. If the wrong hands pick it up, the world is doomed.
Shoot.
The key to finding the bowl
Yep.
is to find the one who is no longer.
That's correct.
Okay. And you said the bowl wasn't important.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I said it's important.
Okay.
It's just not important for the need that the girls thought they needed.
Well, which is interesting that Rand has something to do with this in some way, shape, or form, because the girls were like, oh, we got to bring it to Rand because it maybe needs a man to channel to use it properly.
It doesn't necessarily have to do with Rand.
Well, it's like...
It says that this dream may or may not concern him.
Yeah.
So...
Like, it might have something to do with him, like, in actuality.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
I think we're led to believe that, but, like, no.
You think not?
I think not.
Okay. I mean, it's a good stance to take, but I gotta ask the questions here, so...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, hard no?
Fucking Cloud Bowl.
Hard no. Cloud Bowl is not Rand's business.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. And I do think...
It seems like naive territory, because it's like clouds.
Oh, because of the listening to the wind?
Yeah, like she's
stuff?
a wisdom, and like Elaine's good with like wind, so like they can handle it, right?
I feel like you need to stop it.
Okay, all right, okay,
you...
next. Trick. It doesn't have anything to do with them, and it only has something to do with Rand.
Yeah, how about we talk about the key to finding the bowl? That's what I want to speculate on.
Okay.
That's more important.
Okay.
So the bowl is important.
Yeah.
Number one, I clearly know that it's the key to the weather.
Yeah, and we know where it is. It's in Abu Dar in that storeroom that had a bunch of possible other like
That's right.
Terangriel and Angriel and stuff.
The thing I said about it not being important was it wasn't important to the Saladar Aes Sedai for not returning to the tower.
Right.
Different.
That's not
Different
the means
importance.
Yeah.
But the one who is no longer is Swan. Because she is no longer the Amerlin.
Awesome.
And
okay.
she's in Saladar and she like knows maybe.
Okay, so
I don't know. I stopped
No, that's fair. We can go. So does she need to like go with them?
Sure.
Maybe. Okay. Like Swan's smart. Like she knows stuff.
I don't know why she'd be the key, but I think that she's the one who is no longer.
Okay. So no longer Amerlin.
No longer Amerlin.
Sure. No longer like technically she's no
Aes
longer
Sedai.
Aes Sedai.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So okay.
Maybe it's Morgaze.
Rand thinks it's like someone who's dead. So like
Morgaze, maybe.
One who's no longer queen.
Yeah.
Okay. She's not in.
Or
she's not
people
there.
think she's dead.
Ooh, I like that too. Okay. Abu Dar's not terribly far away from where she is.
Yeah. What about the Aes Sedai in Abu Dar?
Like that one specific one?
The one who's getting the message about
Marilil,
finding
I think it was. Yeah, okay.
Uh-huh.
What is she no longer?
Alive. dun, 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 dun.
Oh, it's a murder mystery now.
Okay.
Oh, man, okay.
I don't know.
No, I like that, okay. I like those. Those are good guesses.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? All right, so now at this point, Aviendha gets up to leave, and Rand stops himself from saying, "Do you have to go?"
Because now he likes her again.
And he changes it to, "Do you want to go back to the Wise Ones and never return to here?"
Yeah.
So
It's good save, man. Good save.
so
Okay.
different.
Yeah.
Do you want to go return to your studies? You know, you've taught me so much.
I love his rationale. I'm just so good at this
I'm pretty
stuff.
much Aiel already.
Yeah.
And she's like, please, you're a 6-year-old boy.
Yeah.
You know as much as a 6-year-old does about Aiel culture.
Yeah. I didn't write down any of the things she says because there's so many there.
There's so many. My favorite one was, why is it important if you capture a silver maker?
Yeah, a silversmith guy shine.
Yeah, why does she have to continue to silversmith for every day that she's a...
No, it's you
What?
let her work one day for herself for each that she works for you.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, no, totally. You got it. You nailed
But
it.
why is it not the same for a weaver?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And it's like her sister's a weaver, so you should know about the family who's currently Guy Shine.
Yeah.
Right?
In your room. And Kyrian?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Okay.
Anyway, so turns out he doesn't understand anything, and then she's like, I will meet my toe.
Yeah.
And Rand's like, oh, she's talking about the land fear incident because I saved her life.
Partial marks.
Yeah. Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be one of the things that she's thinking about.
It might be.
So.
Yeah. But now Avienda thanks Rand for reminding her that a man doesn't know everything, and also to make sure he lets her know when he's gonna go to sleep because she doesn't want to come in and wake him up.
Yeah.
And she leaves, Rand thinking that he doesn't understand women at all.
Yeah, they're so complex.
Yeah.
We get some LTT stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then he yells at Luce Theron to shut up after
Yep.
Luce Theron is like, I destroy everything I love.
Yeah. He has like some he's got some issues.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
They're my favorite. They're my favorite.
He had a rough time in the last age. You know, it's a lot of it's valid.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I told you, Luce Theron is my new favorite character.
Okay.
Hee hee hee, I'm watching you. That's why it's so funny.
Oh man.
All right,
Hopefully it doesn't
perspective
escalate. Okay.
change to Avienda. She's just left Rand's room, and she sags against the door, tries to calm herself down, but being near Rand is a struggle, because she loves him so much.
Ooh, no, it's because of the toe.
Oh, the toe.
Yes.
But turns out she has much more toe towards Elaine,
Yeah.
and all Rand had done was save her life. Pfft, nothing.
Yeah, no big deal.
And the toe towards Elaine is way bigger because she slept with Elaine's man.
Yeah. And she was like supposed to keep an eye on him for
And
her.
She did.
She did. Very good eye. Mm-hmm. Very close all the time.
Just once, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Now-
that's like the problem here. There's two issues, which is
Okay.
relevant later on.
Fair. So, now, some maidens are on guard here.
Nope. One maiden
One maiden.
and one Aiel man.
And one Aiel man.
Yeah.
Okay. And Avienda and the maiden,
Leah, she has a name. You need to remember it.
Leah, they have a conversation in maiden hand talk.
Yeah.
And so Leah's smiling too encouragingly for a woman she doesn't know.
Yeah.
And Avienda's like, why do you smile? Do you not have anything better to do with your time? And then Leah signs back, you are not yet wise, but no longer a maiden.
Yeah. Well, she says, who do you call girl? Because Avienda's in this like weird middle place where she's not a maiden anymore, but she's not a wise one yet. So she's in like a weird middle
So
ground
she's being
place.
like taunted.
Yeah. Well, Leah's taunting her. It sounds intentional, but also Avienda shouldn't be taking the bait on this.
Yeah.
Like she really shouldn't be.
Nah. She's got some practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is her
So,
practice.
yeah.
It's okay
Yeah. You know what's really important?
that they confuse the Aiel man.
No, what's more important is the clothes. So it is important because
Sure it is.
Avienda recognizes Cassin, the Aiel man, as Goshine and as Ethan Dor because of the cut of his coat. So
I
it's,
don't care about that
it's
at all.
important because it's the big question. The Aiel can tell each other apart, at least because of the clothes in some small fashion. And then there's probably specific patterns of cuts of clothes that points out who people are. And then Leah's coat also marks her as Shireen.
Okay.
So it's just really interesting that the Aiel, like, although they all kind of look the same to people who don't know Aiel, they're different, and the way their clothes look points them in, like, which factions they're a part of.
Okay.
Yeah.
You used the term interesting very loosely.
Oh,
over here.
no, I hate that. You're going to talk about maps next chapter, and you don't want to talk about clothes this chapter?
I mean, like, it's cool.
Okay, fine.
I like it.
That's all I have, but I just want to point that out. It's like proof.
I know. I'm just making fun of you.
Clothes matter.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so now a servant's running down the hall, and Avienda heads off a different way so that she doesn't have to pass him.
Because he's disgusting.
Gross. Ugh, who would choose to serve people?
That's why, like, for their entire life. That's the issue.
Yeah. And so she thinks that killing Randall Thor would meet one toe, and killing herself the second, and each toe blocked that solution to the other. Whatever the wise one said, she had to find another way to meet both.
Yeah, okay, so here's the weird thing about this situation.
Yeah.
So her two issues, one is that Rand saved her life.
Yeah.
And the other is that she banged him, and she's supposed to be looking after him for Elaine.
Right.
So one of those is met by killing Rand. Which one?
I don't know. What?
What? Like, what? Which one? So her obligation to Rand for Rand saving her life is to kill him?
I guess.
Does that make sense? Or would it be more logical that she should kill him to, like, negate the toe that she owes towards Elaine?
No, that also doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense either.
I don't get
And then it's like the reverse. She should kill herself to get rid of one of those.
Yeah, probably the toe to Elaine.
But it's like, how does... Okay. But then that leaves the alternate for the first one, which is Rand saving her life.
You got me, man.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tricky situation, so... But anyways, the wise ones are like, you don't actually need to meet both.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, because the wise ones seem to have told her, like, you don't have to meet both of these. One is probably, like, made up in your own head.
Probably. You mean the one where you slept with the guy?
Possibly one of them, at least, is made up in your own head.
Definitely, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
So now that's the end of that chapter. And we get into chapter 20 from the Stedding.
Yes.
Super exciting. And the chapter symbol is the Avendosora leaves
without the
vines.
Yes, I did mark that.
Okay. Now we enter in Rand's perspective. Avienda has just left, and the maiden Leah...
Yeah, who is taunting Avienda.
Right, pokes her head in the door because the servant who was running down the hall pushes past her, and he has an urgent message.
Yeah, this is the guy.
Now, if you have an opportunity to listen to the audiobook for this specific paragraph, I recommend it.
I heard it. I was like coming downstairs or something.
The voices in this chapter that Michael Kramer does are pretty outstanding.
It's so funny. 3
separate rumbly Aiel voices, 2 of them being Aiel women.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
And then a special treat. The voice of this servant is like a squeaky teenager boy. It's hilarious.
That is great.
I recommend it.
Considering that he's not a teenage boy at all.
I don't know. I thought it was so funny. So funny.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Okay, it's so funny. I just had to go back and listen to it again. And then also found out that it's not Leah, it's Laya.
Yeah, I'm not going to change the way I say it, though.
Liah.
Like, I get it, but I'm going to say Leah, so, you know.
Okay.
Anyway,
urgent. Do you know why it's urgent?
Because Ogier have come to the palace.
3 of them, and they're insisting on seeing the Lord Dragon.
It's BFD.
Yeah. So Rand thinks that he has visited a Stedding twice before.
Yep.
And he's totally not sure about the proper Ogier etiquette.
Yeah.
Now, this made me stop and think.
Yes.
Because in my knowledge, Rand has only visited one Stedding one time.
True.
That time he went to use the Waygate.
Yep.
And then Matt Chin Chin was there, so they went and used the Portal Stone.
Yeah.
And that was where they met Aerith.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, at this point, technically, that is the only time you are aware of.
Yeah.
But later this chapter, we're given the second instance.
That's right.
So it's a little bit about that time play that RJ likes to do. So.
All right. So now we get a whole bunch of recap on Ogier.
Yes.
And Rand tells the man to take him to the Ogier.
Yes, that's the right call.
And by the servant's reaction, yes, good, let's go.
Good job.
Okay. So they make it to the courtyard where the 3 Ogier are. And they are surrounded by like 100 Aiel who are all there to visit.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
And the Ogier man makes his introductions and says his name is Haman.
Yep.
And then the 2 others are Corville and Aerith.
Yeah, Covril.
Covril. What did I say?
Corville.
Whatever.
Covril.
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 Okay. And then we get a bunch of recap on what Ogier look like.
Yep.
But I'm super excited that Aerith is here.
Yeah, well, it's Elder Hammond, too.
Elder Hammond
Yep.
and Mama.
Mama. Yeah,
Mama
Loyal's mom,
Ogier.
Loyal's girlfriend, and Loyal's mentor.
I love it. And they're
So
all
good.
come looking for
Loyal. Yeah.
I
It is
love
really
it.
funny, too, because Rand doesn't pick up immediately who they are completely until they kind of get into this whole, like, you know, back and forth. But
No, not at all. And I actually feel a little bit sad for these Ogier having walked all the way to Camelin.
yes.
Because they say, we heard you were in Kyrian,
Yep.
but when we got there, you had already left.
So they're still walking.
But he, like, literally just got back from Kyrian.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah. Yep.
That's so sad.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
But I have a couple other things to say later.
Okay.
On about how maybe we can get to where Loyal is
Maybe.
without having to walk all the way there.
I mean, maybe, because I don't think Loyal's there anymore.
No, I don't think so either.
Which is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
At least they'll have an idea of, like...
I mean, maybe. But
except
like,
that... No, okay, the problem is... And we're jumping way ahead.
Okay.
The problem is... Rand has not one time yet offered
true.
to give them a gateway to the two rivers.
That's true.
I think mostly because he doesn't want to go back there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's, like, changed too much, and he is worried, especially with how he treated, you know,
I mean, to be fair, he doesn't need to go. He could just open the gateway and be like, there you go. Go on through. See you later, guys. Like, he physically doesn't need to go at all.
I know, but Rand is, like, weird sometimes.
He is, absolutely. He's definitely weird sometimes.
Yeah.
But then we also have the issue, let's just jump for it, is that Perrin is on his way towards Rand.
Yes.
And if he
Probably with Loyal.
Probably with Loyal. So if they're on their way now to probably and like Camelin, and then Rand just sends the three Ogier to the two rivers
Through a gateway.
they're
Then now
going to be
stuck
behind,
in-
and then they got to walk back to Camelin to catch up with Loyal. Which is like, that's probably good for
But
Loyal.
we're also just assuming that that's where Loyal is.
Exactly. We're just making a lot of assumptions.
I don't think Loyal would stay behind if Perrin's leaving, though.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But it's like, we also don't know the time frames or where they're at or what's going to happen.
No, we
so,
don't know any of it.
a lot of question marks. Anyways,
All right.
Hilarious. Let's do this.
Okay, back to this. So,
Yeah.
Sulin is here, and she's gonna cut into this conversation because she wants to talk to the Tree Brothers.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Well,
she
not
wants to have everybody there guarding Rand.
Yeah, and then Rand calls her on it because she's like, hey, I'm sure some of the people here came to talk, but I noticed that you've got a bunch of your guards here, too.
Yeah. Do you think I need protection from Ogier?
Yep, that's another shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, everybody leaves because Rand wants to talk to the Ogier alone.
Yeah. Now, it is kind of funny because Sulin kind of takes offense at the whole, like, oh, do I need protection from the Ogier? But the Aiel themselves are like, haha, that's funny.
Yeah. Good
Because-
joke, Rand.
good joke.
You're good at jokes.
He's getting the hang of the Aiel humor stuff, so.
Yeah, and then I really like that Elder Hammond is like rumbling and rambling about humans not always thinking that we're so safe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always good.
And then,
There's a lot of back and forth.
There's a lot of back and forth about humans being hasty and how they've been on their journey to the outside. They've seen lots of unexpected things,
Yeah.
like learning the Shido besieged Kyrian, except they don't say Kyrian. They call it the old name.
Yeah.
Kyrian.
Yeah, it's like Alkyrian, Ellen.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I got
And
it.
then learning that Rand was there but left, so they couldn't
Oh
speak to
no.
him.
Shoot.
It is sad. But then Covril jumps in and is like, a mother has a right to be anxious. What have you done with my baby son Loyal?
You know, this is a little bit sad too, because she immediately jumps to like, hey, where's my son Loyal? And he like doesn't put it together, but he also gave his word that he was going to take care of Loyal.
That's right. And he hasn't seen him in
Yeah,
how
and
long
now it's like, hey, you were supposed to do that.
Yes.
It's very interesting because she's like, hey, you didn't call yourself Dragon at the point that you made the promise, but you're the same person. So
You're the
like,
same person, right?
Where is he? Where is he?
Where is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's too young to be on the outside running across the world like this.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, you're Loyal's mom. And
Yeah.
she's like, yes, where is he?
Yeah.
It's real good.
Yeah, and then we get more recap about Ogier and how Loyal is actually too young to be on the outside.
Yep.
And how Loyal is probably in some arranged marriage situation.
Yep.
And how he thinks that this will be the end of everything, and that's why he left.
Exactly. So it'll be good if he can dodge long enough.
Well, sort of, though, except that he really was into Aerith.
He was, but
This
he also
isn't
doesn't
just
want to
some-
settle down.
No, but this isn't some random one he's never met.
Sure.
So at least there's that.
Okay. Now, it is interesting because when we first met Loyal, we heard that he was about 3 years, like, on the outside.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the time, we learned that he'd been gone for about 3 years. And now...
He's been gone for
5 years. Yeah.
So it's been 2 years.
2 years. So that's just more confirmation.
Yeah. And then Aerith is here, and she's like, it's actually been more than 5 years. I want him to be my husband. I knew that when I first saw him. So I have a random Ogier question.
Sure.
When Loyal saw Aerith
Yeah.
in... Was that the Great Hunt?
Yeah, Stedding Sofu, yeah.
Is that the
Great
first
Hunt.
time he saw Aerith? Because it seems like...
Yeah, because so they wanted to use the Waygate. That was with Varen.
Yeah, I remember all of that.
Yeah.
I was just specifically... Aerith seems to know a lot about Loyal for having seen him one time.
Yeah, so she does, because when we first saw that introduction, she had mentioned, there was like an offhanded comment about, oh, there's a great tree singer from a Stedding that I've heard
Right.
about. Ooh. And it's like, clearly it's an arranged marriage situation. So
And she's been hanging out with his mom now.
Exactly. So there's
Okay.
definitely like the women at work here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, when you know, you know.
Yeah. And so she's trying to impress his mom here, but overstepping a little.
Oh, okay.
Basically.
I was going to say, like, who do you think that, like, the future wife is going to get the upper hand here? Or
Oh, no.
The mother.
The mother.
The mother is, okay.
The wife can get the upper
Ooh,
hand.
okay,
But not
okay.
the future wife.
Okay, I like that.
Think,
Okay.
Because she's like, I will not let him die from being foolish. And then we sort of get like a side eye from the mom at one point. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
Yes. Okay, it's hilarious.
Yeah. So Rand mentions Loyal talking about an Ogier who stayed out longer, 10 years from what he remembers. And then Haman is like, no way. Those guys basically go crazy.
That they were the exception to the rule. So, and it's kind of interesting because Rand has learned about 5 who were made outside that long. So 3 died within a year from coming home. The 4th was an invalid, and the 5th barely any better than that.
Uh-huh.
So it is interesting that many, there's like literal fatalities because of them staying outside too long.
That's true.
Which makes it super sad because of the whole breaking situation.
Right. Now, does it reset because Loyal did enter a Stedding?
I kind of think of it like a rechargeable battery where it's like you can go in for a little bit and get like a little bit of a boost, but you got to really recharge your battery to full at some point.
Okay.
So it's like he can last a little bit longer if he can get some Stedding time.
Okay, cool.
But
All right. Now, this is where Rand's like, Loyal's not here.
yeah, not here, man.
Loyal's not here, man. The last time he saw him was when Loyal was setting out for the Two Rivers with some others, and that he was well a few months ago.
Yeah.
Now, I'm wondering if he's being a little bit generous with that few months.
Okay.
Because that was back at the beginning of
Shadow Rising. Yeah, that was when they were leaving Tyr.
That was when they were leaving Tyr, and that means that Rand has gone to Ruidian, conquered Kyrian, and conquered Caemlyn,
Sure.
and got all the Aiel behind him in a few months.
Well, he's also mentioning like a few months ago because the girls had talked.
Oh,
he saw the girls,
right.
Who'd been there a few months ago, and they told
Right.
stories of like Loyal was fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that's when the girls left the Two Rivers a few months ago.
Exactly.
Okay. Because
So
I was
that's
like,
the-
I think that was longer than a few months.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that makes way more sense.
Cool.
All right. Now, Haman has heard of the Two Rivers, and Aerith is like, we must set out immediately.
Got to keep walking. Good thing Ogier got like good walking legs.
Yeah.
So
And Rand tells them that they should rest for a few days here, plus Haman might be able to help him. And this is where it all clicks. Elder Haman knows everything.
right.
That's Loyal's teacher.
Yep.
And Rand needs to locate all of the Waygates.
Yeah, every single one.
Yeah. And so the Ogier ramble a little bit about how the ways are super dangerous. And they can't wait a few days. They need to go right now. And Aerith is like, Loyal could be dying.
You know what's hilarious is that the mom and the girlfriend, fiance, they're both calling Loyal my Loyal.
Yeah. This is where we get the, like, side looks.
Yeah, it's like the competition a little bit here.
Yeah. And then Haman's like, I shouldn't have let myself be dragged into all of this.
He's like the Eeyore.
Yeah, a little bit.
So,
yeah.
I should be back in my studies.
Yeah. And then Rand tells them that the Shadow Spawn are using the ways, and he sets guards out at each waygate.
Yes.
And
So the ones that he knows about, he's set guards on. But he doesn't know where the rest of them are, so we gotta get on this.
And they could be spilling out.
Yeah.
And affecting the whole world.
So this actually opens up like a super critical line of thought here.
Okay.
And we gotta talk about this.
Okay.
So Rand thinks like, hey, if I can block the ways or guard the ways or whatever I'm gonna do, or put a big friggin' rock in front of them, like who knows?
Yeah.
If he can do that, that's great, but it still leaves gateways. And then he thinks about why the Forsaken don't just pour a few thousand Trollocs into a palace, like just put 10 or 20,000 Trollocs, and he'd have a hell of a time fighting that off, because it's like you can't do anything if you're not there immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Rand did that in Camelin to attack Ravine with Aiel.
That's true.
And it worked super effectively to an extent.
Yeah.
Right? Why don't the Forsaken just like dump Trollocs through gateways? Why do they use the ways?
I don't know. Let me think. Because when was the last time we saw a Forsaken using Trollocs and Fades?
All the time.
Like
that's
what?
where they come from.
No. Like, which Forsaken are using Trollocs and Fades?
Okay. So, like, to an extent, many of them. We've got, well, Ishamael, from what we knew of.
Yeah.
Lanfear, we don't think she really does.
No.
We did get that little bit, I think it was Grendel or Samurag had talked about using Trollocs.
Yeah, because who sent the Trollocs into Tyr? Because that's clearly what they did there.
Yeah, exactly.
That already might have happened, actually, because how did all of those
cargo
Trollocs...
ships. Lan talked about that. Like, we saw that.
Yeah,
there was literally, like, on the wagons
true.
and the cargo ships.
Yeah.
And it's like, we can assume, like, Ravine had a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Obviously, but there was a waygate there. So, like,
Yeah.
but why don't they just, like, dump them in? Why don't they use them with gateways? Why don't we do that?
I don't know. Maybe they should.
Maybe they should. It's like, what, did the Forsaken not think of that?
Yeah. There's probably something stopping them from doing it.
There we go. Okay. Okay. But it's just
But what is it? What's stopping them?
Well, we don't know. Well, I know, but you don't know.
Oh,
but
okay. So there is something specifically
it's not like RJ forgot that's
No,
a thing.
no.
That's not a thing that happens here. So, but there's got to be a reason. That's what I'm saying.
But, like...
But what?
Why?
Why, man?
Why?
Why? Okay.
Why?
Okay.
Because, yeah.
Yeah, like they clearly go through the risk of the ways of just like losing a bunch of troops to like the Black Wind. So
Right. Which we still don't really have an answer as to why the Black Wind was just like following Rand somehow.
well, the speculation was it had something to do with Fane because Fane got caught in it, and
Yeah.
Fane has like this terrible obsession with Rand,
Yeah.
and then like maybe some of that leaked off onto the Black Wind. So
Well, that's what I'm saying. That was my...
that was the working theory at the time, and Rand hasn't
we
really...
don't have confirmation.
Rand hasn't gone through ways. Okay, something to think about. Tuck it away. We'll come back to it.
Yeah. Let me ponder that one.
Cool. Okay.
Anyway, so now the Ogier are going to go off to the side to discuss what Rand is asking for, and Rand intentionally does not listen to the conversation. He's trying to be respectful.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, maintain some humanity, I suppose.
He really berates him. Like, we haven't talked about it, but he goes through a lot of the self-deprecation again.
Yeah.
Not only with, like, I haven't sunk so low that I'll spy on the Ogier.
Using everybody.
And also the whole, like, I have no right to think of Avienda in that way.
Right.
Because he, like, regrets not doing it again with her.
Yeah, but he wants to.
He wants to, and he's like, you're a pig, you're terrible. It's
Yeah.
like, come on, man.
Yeah. That's true. All right. So now the Ogier come back and complain that this is all very hasty.
Yeah.
And
However,
Haman wishes he could discuss it more, but nobody better say that Ogier can't move quickly when they have to, because yes, he will help.
yeah, this is
And
big.
then Rand starts frantically shouting for maps, maps, maps.
Yeah.
And even Sulin pops her head in because he's like shouting so loud, and he like looks at her and he's like, "Run, maiden!"
I love that.
And then she actually like turns and runs.
She does it.
And he's like, "Oh, I should remember what my face looked like."
He's really, like, throwing Sulin off her game here.
to do that again.
So it's actually at this point that we get that second instance of Rand going to the Stedding. This is where he gets the story. So Rand thinks about how he hopes that the Ogier don't ask, like, oh, why didn't you ask your questions to the Council of Elders in Stedding Sofu? Because Alar, the eldest of the elders, had been quite firm because the stump was in a meeting, and then nothing can be just like unusual like this stuff is going to be discussed if the stump is meeting. So they got to wait till the stump finishes. Stump, capital S. Like
Sure.
the big meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, he was like, we're waiting until that finishes before we talk about this. I don't care if you're the dragon or not. We're not doing this whole gateway stuff.
Okay.
So that's why, that's the second
time
time
he went back
he
there
went to the same Stedding Sofu.
in the last little while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's interesting because we also got Niall at the beginning of this book who was thinking about the news that the Ogier are meeting.
Oh, Pedro Nile, White Cloak guy. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now, while they're all waiting for the maps to show up, or they're waiting for all the maps to show up,
All the maps.
Haman says that there probably isn't much they can tell Rand that he doesn't already know. Every Stedding has one, so just go to every Stedding.
Yeah, you should know that.
Don't you know your history?
Yeah, don't you know where every Stedding is?
Plus, every city has an Ogier Grove.
Yeah.
And then we get a whole lot of history.
Yeah. Now, we know most of this stuff, but, like, if you don't remember, so the ways were made by the male channelers after the breaking.
I remember.
As, like, a thank you for letting us hang out in your Stedding and not
so
go
we don't
crazy.
go crazy.
But then they left.
Then they go crazy.
And they went crazy, and the ways were tainted because of the corruption.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then the Ogier were given a talisman of growing to continue to create them.
Yeah.
So some of them were made by the male Aes Sedai back in the day, but then the Ogier made the rest
Continue
of them. Continue to
grow
make them.
Yeah.
And then the overarching feature of this entire discussion about nations rising and falling over the past 3,000 years and, like, receding, which is the cool part about the borders, this is exactly what Ingtar was talking about way back at the beginning of the series, about why he turned to the Dark One.
Okay.
Because he was talking about, like, hey, nations are falling, nations are receding, we can't keep doing this because we're losing, so the only hope is to join the Dark One.
Sure.
But then he gets his redemption. So.
Yes, he does.
But anyways.
What's the funny old-timey city?
Mafal da Dara now.
Yeah, Mafal da Dara now.
Jabba.
It's Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah,
Mafal da Dara now.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's Faldara.
I know. Okay, that's funny. Now, Rand explains about the few Stedding that he's aware of, and Haman's like, good joke, human.
Yeah, because it's like 3.
Rand's like, it's been a very long time since the ways were made in human years.
Yes.
And then Covril has to step in with Haman and say, he doesn't remember, dude. The memories are gone.
Which is like, gasp, very shocking.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, finally, Sulin and a bunch of Gaishine come in with the maps, and Rand starts sorting through them, and he finds some Borderlands and of Andor, and then we get more of RJ flexing on describing of maps.
Yeah, the cool part, too, is, like, when you look at the map of Randland, you have all these, like, little nations, like the Caroline Grass and, you know, Almouth Plain,
that
Plains
all
of Moredo.
used to be...
Yeah, it's like they used to be a nation, now they've, like, fallen, and then you just get the remnant of what it used to be, which is very cool that RJ went through the history of all that.
Yeah, I did like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, we get a number count on how many Steddings there are.
Yeah, well, yes, there's a lot. Okay, so we got 7 in the Borderlands. We've got 13 in the Spine of the World, so, like, the mountain range there.
Yeah. Shit, we got a lot.
Yep.
I bet Rand wasn't expecting that.
No, because it's like, hey, I know 3.
He thought maybe there'd be like 4 more.
Yeah. Like maybe we got like a dozen if we're like stretching, but it's like, no, 7 in the Borderlands.
Okay, hold on. The ones that Rand knows are, let me see if I remember, Manetherin.
Yeah.
Or Two Rivers.
Yep.
We got Camelin in that basement.
Yeah, he's already guarding that one.
Yeah. And then we have the Stedding Sofu.
Yeah, because he's been there.
Yeah, and then also Faldara. He knows about the Faldara one.
He knows about the Faldara one. He also knows about the one close to Tyr.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yep. And from what we know, that's kind of all he knows
so that's
about.
5.
Yeah.
So that's not 3.
Yeah. What?
I was taking you at your word, Brett.
I'm pretty sure I said like 3.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I said exactly 3, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Anyways, so we got 7 across the borderlands, 13 down the side. Coverall mentions that he forgot one, so like maybe it's 14. It's a little bit tricky with the words and how it's described in this chapter.
And aren't there some like in the waist?
Yes. So, well, no, not in the waist necessarily that we know of.
Okay.
Yeah, so not the waist.
Just the spine.
Yeah, the spine. And then we have the Mountains of Mist have 6, which is shocking to Rand.
Yeah, because he only knows of 1.
Yeah. And then also on the strip west of the Spine of the World, so not in the spine where there's like the 13, 14, but like right to the west of that, there's another 4 that are all new, in quotes, which is like 600 years to 1,000 years old.
Okay.
So yeah, so there's those ones. And then he starts going into like all the abandoned ones too, because there's not enough Ogier to populate them all. So like we don't get an official count from what I can tell this chapter.
Yeah.
But the shocking part for me as a reader too is like there's a lot.
Yeah.
Like there's actually a ton that you weren't necessarily expecting.
Oh yeah.
Because on the map we get like a handful, like 3.
Yeah. Like 3.
You see what I said there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we have like Stedding, Shanghai. We've got, I don't even think Stedding Sofu is on here.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so it's like very few.
Yeah.
And then we also get that there's a few lost in the waste, in the Blight.
In the Blight.
And close to the Blight.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because that's probably where they're coming from.
Yes.
Through the ways.
Yeah.
To break out into the world.
Fair. Okay. So this is all very shocking to Rand.
Yes.
But my favorite thing is how Rand is like, hey, I know one that you didn't say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then Hamon's like, I know that one. We don't talk about that one.
Yeah, because it wasn't reclaimed. So there's Stedding that weren't reclaimed, so they don't have a Waygate. Which is also interesting. And that was where, so the Archer Hawkwing statue.
That's where
Egwene
and Perrin were with Elida.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Elias.
Elias and
Elias.
Hopper. Yeah, and Hopper back in the day. So.
Yeah.
But that's where Archer Hawkwing City was supposed to be, right? Because of Stedding, and he didn't like Aes Sedai and that whole business, but...
Right.
Which also may have been Ishamael, whispering in his ear.
Yes. Okay. Now, they're still marking down waygates, and Coverall says it's time for them to get going, because they literally want to set off right now to find Loyal. And Rand is like, will you please stay? You must be exhausted. And Hamon is still marking on the map with groves.
Yeah, so this is the difference, because we just went through Steddings, but there's also groves, which are not Steddings, but the Ogier also built them with the big trees and stuff.
And then they also have waygates.
They also have waygates, so
and
now he's going through
Tarvalin.
that.
We know that one.
Yeah.
And we also know one near Tanchico.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, we do.
Because
Exactly.
Leandrin used that one.
That whole business.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot. And it's like, oh, man, there's a lot.
And then Rand notices that Hamon is marking everything down, but he's also crying.
Which is so sad.
Well...
It's so sad.
I feel like, at this point, Elder Hamon, who knows everything...
Sure.
Should already know all of
He
this.
knows it, but he has to relive it and like relive the memory of his people and all the places where they used to be.
Are very emotional.
Yeah, of course. Well, what you would be too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. It's sad.
It's cute.
Your cold heart.
No, quit it.
Okay.
Quit
Anyways,
saying
let's
that.
talk about this. Women are exhausting.
Oh yes, they are. So Rand notices that Hamon has marked Eridol.
Yeah, right.
And
That's
he
the one.
points to it and is like, hey, if there was a grove here, what does that mean?
Yeah, means there's a waygate there.
Yeah, and now it's Shatter Logoth.
Yeah.
And Hamon's like, oh yes, sad business. And Rand says, in Shatter Logoth, a very sad business. Would you show me that waygate if I took you there?
Yes.
So, like, why is Rand interested in this one specifically?
I love the cliffhanger because we haven't seen or heard of Shadow Logoth in a very, very, very long time.
Very long time.
Very long time.
Yeah.
Very long time.
Beginning of Eye of the World.
Very long time.
Yeah.
But it seems like we might be going back.
No, I know that, but like, why?
Yeah.
I'm confused though.
That's a
Should
good question.
Should I be confused?
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
Or is this like an obvious one that I've missed?
Well, no, it's definitely not obvious. I mean, we can speculate why would he be interested in the Shadow Logoth one. His plan right now is to, like, protect each one. And from what we can tell, Hamon just marked, like, over 50 waygates, and Rand probably isn't going to go by himself to go and like block or protect each one of these.
Yeah, okay.
It kind of makes it like it doesn't seem like we're going to get like, oh, and Rand for the next 7 months traveled around to every single
Well, no, he would delegate. He'd put someone else on it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's going to delegate to like, let's block off or protect all these different waygates, whatever. But Shadow Logoth is one that you don't specifically want other people going to, right?
Okay.
Like, that's the speculation, is like maybe he wants to take care of this one because he knows it, and it's like a super evil one, and maybe let's not send a...
But he's concerned
yeah.
about Trollocs.
Sure.
So everything
They're not going into... Yeah.
Everything you just said, I'm not buying it.
Sure. Yeah, I'm trying to give you ideas
I know that, but I'm letting you know that I'm not buying that one because that doesn't make sense.
Because they're not going to come out of Shadow Logoth.
Trollocs, unless... I don't know. I feel like we've gotten tidbits about Shadow Logoth in the past, 5 books.
Sure,
like
maybe.
Once in a while, like a couple.
Well, because like Thane.
Yeah, feel like it's more than that. I don't know. My instinct thinks that one specifically should be safe from Trollocs.
Okay.
And if that's his main point and his main goal right now, like why does he want to go there?
Yes, that is a good question.
It doesn't make a lot of sense unless Trollocs now, like, live there.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I feel like there was a weird tidbit a very long time ago about Trollocs now, like, not being scared.
Nope. That never happened. Yeah.
Are you
No, I'm
sure?
going to confirm that one for you.
I don't know.
Yeah, we have not read where Trollocs aren't afraid of Shadow Logoth anymore.
Okay.
Like,
or
they
like
got driven.
Yeah, no. Yeah. They got driven out, too.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, the reason why the Trollocs chased them in there was it was, like, very specific orders to go in there. And
no, I know that.
So like, they're not just, like, hanging out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm hoping that I just get the answer right away and I don't have to speculate for long.
Okay, well, that's very interesting because we get the next chapter title.
Mm-hmm, I saw it already.
Yeah, I know you did because it's like that's how the pages work. But it's called To Shadow Logoth.
I know. Okay.
We're going back.
Yeah.
Going back.
We're going back.
Okay.
I guess so.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Okay. I'm just like thinking. All right. Well, that is the end of that chapter. But before we end things, I have a shout out specifically for somebody who left us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So we are still sending out thank yous and goodies to people who leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts and leave their Instagram or Twitter handle in the review. So Lugu89 said, "Great for people new to the book. I started listening to the Wheel Weaves early on, and I have used it as a kind of companion to my reading. I'm slightly ahead now, but I fell in love with Dani and Brett, and it's a really good way of remembering the details that I find easy to forget. Love the hosts, love the structure, love it all. Great pod. You won't be disappointed." And how sweet is that?
That's a very nice one. Yeah, thank you for that.
That is so nice. So thank you so much. And Lou, you are getting something in the mail coming your way very shortly. And a reminder to everybody else, please leave that 5-star review and you could be getting something as well. And so now, before you force a bunch of Ogiers to be very hasty in their decision to help you about locating waygates, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Well, that's all for now, folks. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the episode, and thanks for listening. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, produced by Dani and Brett, with Essen, Passion Socks, Mozyme, Moltude, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Cody Fouts, Megan Smiley, Jonathan Reese, and Kaz. With music by Audionautics.com. If you're interested in supporting us and the podcast, you can find us on our Patreon page at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For all things The Wheel Weaves, like how to get in touch with us, how to send us really cool shot glasses, our social media links, how to join our Discord, and for just some general information about the show and the hosts, you can head over to our website at thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, don't forget to tell a friend about us, to leave us that 5-star review, and to hit that subscribe button over on YouTube. We'd really, really appreciate that, and it does help a lot. Thanks again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.